Hi there, and you're welcome to today's episode of Your Lawyer's Corner with Mo. On today's episode, I will be talking to you as a tenant. Your right as a tenant has to do with the privileges afforded to you under the law as a tenant over that property that has been given to you by a landlord. And in Nigeria, these rights are uniform. They are universal. So today, I will be letting you know most of these rights that you have as a tenant. Number one, as a tenant, you have the right to receipt of payments. What do I mean by that? Once you make payments for your rent, you have the right to receipt of payments from the landlord. The landlord must issue you with a receipt of payment, and the receipt must contain the duration of the tenancy, your name, the location of the property, and also the amount paid. And do you know that in Lagos State, for example, there is a penalty for any landlord that did not issue a receipt of payment to his tenants. Such a landlord will be issued with a fine of 100,000 naira. You are shocked, right? That is the law in Lagos State. So you have the right as a tenant to be issued a receipt of payment. Number two, as a tenant, you have the right to exclusive possession. Once you have made payments for your apartment, that vicinity, that apartment solely belongs to you. The landlord cannot just walk in and barge into you, although the landlord also has his rights, but he will have to notify you before he can come into the apartment. So as a tenant, you have the right to exclusive possession. Number three, you have the right to notice to quit before eviction. The landlord cannot just wake up one day and say, now, this tenant does not greet me very well. I will have to send him out of my property. No, it is not done that way. You have the right to be issued a notice to quit, and such a notice to quit has to do with the type of tenancy that you have with the landlord. For example, a yearly tenant will be entitled to a 6-month quit notice. As a half-yearly tenant, you are entitled to 3-month notice. And for a monthly tenancy, you are entitled to a month notice. I hope you get that. And also, another right that you have as a tenant is a right to 7 days notice of owner's intention to recover possession. After you must have been served with the quit notices, as I've mentioned earlier, the next and at the expiration of that notice that has been served on you, you are entitled to a 7 days notice of owner's intention to recover possession. And also, the last but not the least of the rights that you have as a tenant is right to a habitable premises. What does that mean? You have the right to a habitable premises. That is, the landlord must put in place a habitable premises for your enjoyment. The landlord must provide water, electricity. He must make sure that everything is in good position, even before you park into the premises. And with that, we have come to the end of today's episode of Your Lawyer's Corner with Mo. Always remember, don't just get mad, get a lawyer. Bye.